Hi. I just watched your presentation on Puerto Rico. I thought it was really good. You had a lot of information in it. I liked how you sort of mentioned it in a timeline sense, so it was very easy to understand what happened because you kept mentioning the years of everything progressing, so that was very good. And I thought it was interesting that Puerto Rico's history was very similar to the country that I'm doing for this week, which is Cuba. Because they're both, small island sort of countries, so they had a similar sort of history. Cuba was also discovered by Christopher Columbus, that I'm researching, and both Puerto Rico and Cuba, as you mentioned, when the Spanish-American War ended, when the U.S. intervened, that's when Puerto Rico gained their independence. The same thing happened with Cuba. With the Treaty of Paris that the U.S. signed, that ended the Spanish-American War, and it granted Cuba also, their independence that they had been fighting for, just as Puerto Rico had. I also looked up a few different facts that weren't in your presentation that I just thought were interesting about Puerto Rico. One interesting fact was, that Puerto Rico is about a similar size to Connecticut. I thought that was pretty good to know. And also that in Puerto Rico, they have actually the biggest radio satellite in the world there, and it's used by a lot of different scientists to study different parts of astronomy and pick up different radio signals so that they can monitor if there's any, life outside of Earth, or if they hear any signals or get any media messages from aliens or anything like that. And it's it's the biggest satellite for that sort of research that they have in the world. It's located there in Puerto Rico. Thought that was pretty cool. And another really cool fact that I found was that 70% of all rum that is sold in the U.S. Originally comes from Puerto Rico. So that's interesting because it really directly affects us. It's something that we can actively see here if you drink rum. So sometimes I do. And also, I know you mentioned that the church, the Catholic Church, had a big part to do with Puerto Rico's history. And I think, if I heard you correctly, that you said that that the church made Puerto Rico sort of like their headquarters for when they were expanding their religion, trying to expand it to different people in the New World. So it was a really important place. And I found out that the two oldest churches in South America are actually located in Puerto Rico, in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I thought that was pretty interesting because it relates to directly what you were saying about the church's power in the area. So overall, I think you did a really great job, and it really helped me understand more about the country. So thanks, and hope you like my presentation too. Bye.